Today we're at the Charlotte Museum of History, stepping inside the oldest surviving home in Charlotte, where stone walls still whisper about the people who built the city. Our guide, Cal Booker, brings the past to life with rich stories and sharp insight. If you love unheralded history told on site, hit subscribe, tap the bell, and share this episode with a friend. Let's walk in, listen closely, and keep our history alive together.
Well, this isn't Philly, but there's a bell here.
Exactly right.
What do we got rocking and rolling?
Yeah, this is the American Freedom Bell. You can see it printed on the face there.
Yeah.
Was commissioned in 1999 for the museum by a local artist, supported by the Belk Foundation. And it holds a promise to never forget that you are free, right? Mm-hmm. And we got our little friend, the Hornet.
The Hornet.
Right there.
Hence the Charlotte Hornets, y'all.
Yep. An homage to the story that when the British invaded Charlotte for a couple weeks in 1775, they were later kicked out, and Lord Cornwallis was recorded as saying, Charlotte is nothing but a hornet's nest of rebellion. So yeah. We took that personal in all kinds of ways.
And they branded it with everything.
Exactly right.
If he would have branded that, if he would have trademarked that back then, whoever's family that is would have still been very rich. And,
true.
You know, they may be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And this guy still works too, so I can ring it for you.
Yeah.
In a minute.
Let's make it happen.
Sure can.
Do I need to cover my ears? Does it get that loud?
It is a little bit loud.
It's a little loud?
But it's not unbearably loud.
So he's going to do it for us. I mean, it looks heavy to just even ring it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. This big old hammer right here.
Oh, what do you got? What's up? You got a... Oh.
There's a whole box in here, Fred.
Okay. That's what's up.
Here we go.
Oh, so it's... Man, this is lazy. Wait a minute. This is lazy.
You thought I was going to pick this thing up?
Yeah, I thought you were going to pick it up.
I don't think so, man. You've seen me work. Come on now. All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Let's go. Oh, man. Wait a minute. Now, Kyle. This is not as dramatic as I thought it was going to be.
You didn't think so?
No, I thought that this was going to come all the way up here and then, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the king of wishful thinking, so that's what's up.
There you go.
I appreciate you for ringing it.
Yeah.
All right. So, and now I can't skip past this, right? Never forget that you are free. So obviously, the Alexanders were enslavers,
right,
as well as pretty much all the folks that were signers, if I remember correctly.
Exactly right.
Is there like a caveat that the museum speaks to when it comes to, explaining this?
Yes. In fact, let's step this way.
Yeah.
And we've got a sign with everybody's names on them. Fred, would you imagine a sign with all the names of the people enslaved on a site, Fred?
This is this is an inside joke that Cal and I are talking about as well. So
yeah. So these are the names of the people that we know were enslaved here. Unfortunately, there's still some names that are unknown, specifically the 3 unnamed children of Nance listed there. So we do our best to try to tell their stories, especially Nance and Bet. We know more about them than most people.
Yeah, I know a couple of their descendants.
Yeah. So on the site, usually when I talk through Hezekiah's great patriotic lineage and heritage, and him being involved not only with the Mecklenburg Declaration of Independence, but with writing the state constitution of North Carolina. He was part of that commission. We point out that while he's writing all these grand ideas, right, just outside of his window, there's people enslaved, picking peaches in the orchard, working in tobacco fields here, making money for him, and they're working nonstop. They're surviving day by day, right, trying to hold on to their families, and that these ideas of freedom that he's writing about outlive him, right? These ideas are not his to own,
for sure,
but they're bigger. They go on, and they come to apply to the descendants of the very people that he did not respect.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
All right, let's head on back.
Sure.
Just gonna get a picture of this real quick. 1, 2, and 3. All right, cool.
And these are the people that we know were enslaved by Hezekiah. The house has a long story, though, right? Hezekiah passes away in the early 1800s, and we know that there are many other families that live here all the way up until the 1940s. So we're continuing to do research about the further periods. Since the 1960s, 1970s, the museum has really been focused on telling this story of this revolutionary patriot.
Right.
Here in 2025, we're really trying to broaden that story to understand what this house has meant over time, and to different families, to different community members, and try to piece together a more thorough story.
Okay. Now there's a historical marker here with John Lawson.
That's right.
What's the deal with him?
Yeah. John Lawson, one of the early travelers to North Carolina in Mecklenburg County. He did some expeditions, specifically wrote a book called A New Voyage to Carolina. While in the area, he dealt a lot with indigenous people and recorded his interactions with them. He records that almost everyone he met with were very welcoming, very warm, very friendly. And he writes down as much as he can remember about what this new land is, what this strange place is to him, and then reports it back to people in England. And so we get some of our first natural history pieces about the United States from John Lawson. So important figure, and an important cultural bridge as people start to move here as well.
Now, are these? Is this walkway original?
It is not.
Okay,
It is not.
so-
No, they used replica stone to try to piece it together, but is a little more modern.
And you had mentioned peaches and some other things. So agriculturally, that was what
Yes.
this plantation had.
Exactly right, and you're very correct to use the word plantation, because this land, the land that Hezekiah owned, incorporated over 600 acres to begin with, and by the time he died, he owned over 1,000 acres of land in town. So things that were grown here included peaches, tobacco, but then he was also a dairy farmer, so there were a lot of cows whose milk was being used for different products, from cheese to butter as well.
Okay. And this is a statue of Alexander.
Yeah, initially it was supposed to represent Hezekiah himself. As we've done more research, we've come to realize there are no images or descriptions of Hezekiah himself. So
He may have looked like this, he may not have.
Exactly. The artist who put this together interviewed some of Hezekiah's descendants, and he kind of made a composite of a bunch of their faces.
Okay.
And that's where he got this. And the outfit that he's wearing is fairly accurate to the time period. He's holding a book there. He was really big on promoting education in his time period. He was one of the founding members of the original Queen's College, which is not Queen's University today. They kind of flip-flopped in some ways.
Gotcha. One step closer to the house.
There we go.
Is this a natural waterway?
This is, yeah.
Okay.
We know that this creek would have been here at the time. There's also a naturally occurring spring on the land.
Yeah, because there's a spring house over there, right?
There's a spring house, yeah.
We'll check that out too. Now, do we have access inside?
Yes,
the house?
absolutely.
We can go inside. Are there any other rock homes in Charlotte?
Oh, goodness. There used to be. I can say that with confidence. I don't know that there are any longer, but I would say don't quote me on that. I will say the Wallace House was one of the biggest else than this. That was pretty well known.
Wallace House. All right, so you all are looking at the oldest home here in Charlotte, North Carolina, built roughly around 1774.
1774.
Right. So this is the oldest home in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it is still standing. As it relates to the architecture of the home and the building of the home, do we have the name of some of the formerly enslaved humans that were responsible for building the home?
Yeah, some of the people that we saw earlier down by the bell were almost definitely part of building this. So,
but did they lease any folks out from neighboring plantations?
None that we see recorded.
Okay.
But it's safe to say that they almost definitely did.
Because
right?
this had to be a huge undertaking.
Exactly right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So we believe Abraham and a young man named Sam were definitely part of this crew that were enslaved here.
Okay.
As for the design, we believe the Bigham Workshop of stonecutters out of York County, South Carolina, probably designed most things. But when it came to actually putting mortar on rock, it was definitely enslaved labor more than anything that got the job done.
All right, cool. Let's head on in.
All right.
All right.
Come on.
Nothing was clearly added. Like there wasn't any additions to this home.
No extra
This
rooms
is
or
what
anything
it,
like
what
that.
it was.
But
Pretty clean to be around since 1774.
Right? Yeah. As you see it now, it's in its 1774 version. But as I mentioned, it lived many lives here.
Sure.
So some of the walls that you'll see have been put back in where we understand they stood. You'll also see some of the wood here. It's kind of a bright orange color. A cedar or a cypress would have been the main use. And this stairway, this covering for the stairway would have been put back in as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So coming in, this would be like just your formal room right here.
Yeah, this would be your parlor or your foyer. And the front door here would be mainly for family to come through.
Okay.
The side door that we've come through is usually meant for business, business associates, business partners, other politicians to kind of make their way in through. And there's also a third door, the back door, right? And this would have been reserved for the people who didn't choose to live here, the people who didn't get paid for the work that they did, the enslaved people on the land, who would usually be working in the keeping room, right there.
Okay. Gotcha. So step in this room right here.
Yeah.
Secret compartments.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
This is the study. So secret compartments. We know that there's some connected with this desk right here. So let me show you.
Put the gloves on, y'all.
Exactly right. Collection manager's duty. So this is Hezekiah Alexander's original desk.
Oh, wow.
And we have samples of his writing there for you to see, and some of the usual tools of the trade at the time. Quill and ink would have been the main way to get any letter written back in the day.
Man.
So that little sign you saw about secret compartments, when the British came and invaded Charlotte for only a couple weeks in 1775, they actually came and took this house over. And it's our understanding that Hezekiah Alexander would have had information about where the militia was and where troops were going, what supply lines were. When he knew the British were coming,
He would stuff it in these.
he would have to hide that info away so all the soldiers wouldn't know the secrets of the time.
That's wild.
Now this, Fred, this is probably a red herring, right? It wasn't uncommon to have secret compartments in desks at the time. So if you're a soldier coming through here and you know that you might be able to find something hidden, right? You're scouring this, you're kind of wiggling everything, right? This one doesn't move. This one does a little bit, right? So there's actually...
You gotta hope that they don't get that one.
Yeah. So there's actually more hidden compartments elsewhere in the desk where they would have hidden super top secret kind of things. And this may have been, you could put false information in here to mislead somebody, or a less important piece of information. They would think, oh, we found the secret compartment in the desk, and then let it be, right?
But there's more.
But there's more. Yes. So I can't get to them from here, unfortunately. But I think I can get to this without hurting anything too much. Come here. Come here.
That opens too.
It does. It's a little door.
That's wild.
Yeah. And this was made in Mecklenburg County.
Okay.
We know that
there it goes.
that it's a local piece. There we go.
Man. Okay. That's crazy.
There you go. But this is the desk where a lot of those ideas about independence and freedom from British rule would cross over, where letters about what should and shouldn't make it into the state constitution of North Carolina would cross over. But at the same time that he's writing these things, right, just outside this window or outside that window, he would see young women and young men that he enslaved working here, excluded from the rights that he's writing about, right? As he's dreaming of a better tomorrow, he's not including everybody in it. Thank goodness for our sake that his idea wasn't the only idea, right? And that this idea of freedom and independence outgrew him.
Yeah, I love that. Great way of putting it, for sure. So no more secret compartments, right?
No, that's it. No more secret passages or anything like that.
You gonna be like Michael Jackson, walk with one glove on?
Or you're right. You're right.
I know you may have been feeling stylish. You know what I'm saying?
Some days.
You may have been feeling stylish.
Some days.
All right. As it relates to all the other furniture, like this one right here.
Yes.
This piece, is this original?
The desk is one of the only original pieces in the house. Many of the things that we have in here are antiques from the time period to help us feel out what it was like at the time.
Absolutely.
There's some different thoughts in the field about whether to have houses full or whether to have houses empty, right? And we've opted here to have the house full to try to give you this kind of living, breathing sense.
Yeah. All right. Eating area. Being that it was brick, did they cook inside the home because there was less risk of it being burned? Or I see a building out here, which will go over there, or was it outside?
Yeah, so this keeping room would have been a kind of last preparation area for food. The main cooking and preparation space would be the kitchen house, which is the log cabin just outside of the building.
We'll check that out in a second.
And we know that two of the women that were enslaved here, Bet and Jenny, would have called that building home. That's a reconstruction of the original. Unfortunately, the first one did not survive. But we know that the process of the food being made, it would be open hearth cooking, as many kitchens were at the time. And they would make anything and everything, right? We're talking about soups or stews, pies. Something that was really common that you would see were Johnny cakes or hoe cakes, just cornmeal, fritters fried up in some butter.
And those are real
hoe
cakes.
Yeah.
Not Jiffy.
Not Jiffy,
right?
exactly.
Not Jiffy.
Right.
Those are the type of cornbread that you want to dip in some type of gravy and then with your collard greens. So not Jiffy. Jiffy made it like a cake.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
I grew up on the hot water, and guess what?
Yeah.
They cooked them in these.
That's right. Those big cast irons.
Cast iron skillets, for sure.
And as they cooked them, they would plate them up over in the kitchen house, and this small window here with the latch on it was the pass-through window, service window. Wow. And so they would bring the food over, and they would pass the food through to there. Now, this tells us a couple things, right? Windows don't just happen in buildings like this, right? With 3-4 foot thick walls like this, right? So this was designed into the wall. The idea that Hezekiah and his wife Mary had here is that there should be some separation between the people who made the food and the people who consumed the food, right? This tells us about their mindset, about what they thought of the people that were enslaved here, right? And that it was carved into stone. They didn't think it was going to change. So again, this informs kind of that tension about Hezekiah being the author of some of these great freedom ideas of freedom and independence, while also enshrining enslavement in something like a window in his house.
Yeah, that's wild.
So while this was the main eating area for the family, this was also an educational space. So you would get things like this, horn books with little sample pieces of information, the alphabet, and then usually some combination of the Lord's Prayer or a piece of scripture from the Christian Bible about about morals and ideas or belief. They're thinking that if our kids learn anything, right, then they should learn something about how the world came into being or a God that runs it. So the Presbyterian Church was major here in Charlotte.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of a testament to that. It's combined with education at the forefront.
Okay. Would this be the main bedroom?
Yeah, this would be Mom and Dad's room, Hezekiah and Mary's bedroom. We know that they would have had a 4-poster bed just like this one in here. They had 10 kids. Now, they established their life, for the most part, up in Pennsylvania and Maryland before they came down here. They came down looking for opportunity, but also to be with family. So most of their family was already around. They were already fairly wealthy as well from work that was done up there. Hezekiah had been a blacksmith up that way. And then we know that there were a couple kids born here, so we've got a crib to kind of represent them as well. Now, in talking about his wealth up in Pennsylvania, something pricked my mind. I don't know if some of his wealth there is accumulated from enslaved labor as well.
I was just about to ask, because a lot of people, even like with the iron furnaces, I do a lot of research on iron furnaces, and a lot of these people are coming from Jersey, they're coming from Pennsylvania, they're coming from Ohio, and then they're coming down south, and even Maine, and they're their worth up there may be $5,000. Then they're able to come down south, double, triple that, right? And so that's why I was curious, was he already an enslaver in that area, or did he come down here and feel like he hit the lottery? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't have sources for it, but I would believe so. Because to make that big of a journey down from Pennsylvania to Charlotte, almost definitely required a lot of work, a lot of hands.
For sure.
So, and then to purchase this large amount of land, 600 acres, and if he didn't have anyone to work it already, right? Well, it would be a huge gamble for him, I think. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, so we are
upstairs.
Heading upstairs to. Wow. So this is original too.
This bar? This was put in for safety only.
Okay.
Yeah. This one's not original.
I was about to say 10 kids. I know that there had to be some additional space for for 10 kids. That's for sure. All right.
So this room would have been kind of a bonus area, kind of like a second living room, but also would have been a place where a loom might have been stored. This is a barn loom that is partially deconstructed. We're working on it now. But sometimes these would live outside in their own buildings, in their own barn, but tells us something important about the mom of the family, Mary Alexander. She was a practiced and notorious textile loomer, and she would have been part of what was called the homespun movement during the Revolution. So while all the taxes are being heaped on the people of the colonies, there's a movement that, well, if we make our own clothes, then we don't have to buy them from British merchants, right? So in that way, they wage an economic war at home by making their own goods.
Making their own goods, yeah.
Important to mention, though, right? They're only able to do that because the raw materials are being produced by enslaved labor, right?
Yeah, for sure. Which goes across the world.
Exactly. Exactly.
And these floors got to be original.
Yes. Yeah, these big wide planks.
They are wide.
All these are original.
See how wide these are? Man.
Yeah, some of those a foot or wider.
Yeah, for sure.
I mentioned that a lot of the walls have been replaced over time. This wall going this way is one of the only original walls left in the house. And you can see it's a little less orange. It's got a little bit more space in between the boards.
Yeah.
It's got some life in it.
Yep, for sure.
We've also found recently that it was probably whitewashed at some point. We don't know exactly when we're going to, part of that National Parks grant, we're going to end up checking out how old that paint is and trying to figure out what era was whitewashed.
Okay.
This little desk right here is supposed to represent the oldest son of the family. His name was William Alexander, and he was a fur trader who drove from here in Charlotte up to Pennsylvania fairly regularly. We still have an account of his logbook, including all the days that he drove and what all the goods were that he drove up and down. So it's a little bit of a dry thing to read through, but it tells us, what are people looking for here in Charlotte? What do they want? And then with goods, information also travels, right?
Yeah.
And that's usually written down a little less clearly, but we can assume that information about the revolution is passing through Hezekiah's eldest son here.
Okay. It's great content to have.
Yeah.
All right.
And then he's almost definitely in the fur trade, dealing with indigenous communities.
I was just about to ask
from
that.
here up and down the coast.
Now, was there ever anything recorded to where there were indigenous attacks on the Alexander family or this community for their encroachment into the area? Because in this area, you had the Catawba, you had the Sugaree,
Yeah.
and what other?
Yeah, the Cherokee, would have been just to the west side of the Catawba River.
Okay.
So we know that the Catawba were very welcoming of settler peoples here, and during the American Revolution sided with the people of the colonies, with the patriot cause in many ways. However, we know that William Alexander at one point is involved in battles against the Cherokee people. There's one story that he's riding out on his own as some kind of scout at a point, and he gets ambushed by three Cherokee soldiers on horseback. He jumps off of his horse and he zooms up a tree and starts yelling for help. And there's a couple different stories about this part. He survives that encounter. The Cherokee don't end up attacking him, and eventually he's saved. But it becomes this stain on his reputation that he ran up into a tree during that encounter.
Self-preservation was not important, right?
Yeah.
Die in honor. All right. So now we're gonna head to the log house outside.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Let me make sure I'm careful going down these steps.
There.
Some context about it.
Yeah. A little information.
Yep.
And then here's a little information about
Nance.
Nance.
Okay. And then the names again too.
Exactly right.
Nice.
Exactly right. Yeah. And we don't know a great deal about what happens to them after they're here. When Hezekiah passes away in the early 1800s, he gives the land and the house to his youngest son Oswald, and many people are listed again in his will, but it's unclear if everybody's the same Frank, the same Sam, the same Nance, as there were already multiple Nances on the site. It's hard for us to know exactly who was who in those recordings.
Yeah. And I know this Orr family.
Yes.
I did a film on Lawrence Orr.
I remember seeing that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good
Yeah.
one.
Great family.
Excuse me.
Yeah, no problem. All right. So now, is this original to the site? Or this was brought?
The cabin was rebuilt.
Okay, it was rebuilt.
So the fireplace that you see is original.
Okay.
That's how we know that this cabin stood right here. Everything above what you see, above the shoulders of the fireplace, was broken off.
Okay.
Then in the 1970s, a group from Central Piedmont Community College rebuilt the cabin as a community project.
Okay.
And since then, this has been the same version of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. It's beautiful. They did a great job.
Yeah, they did, right? Incredible to see students at work and
Yeah.
passionate about history and wanting to make something live and authentic, that can really live and breathe like this.
Yeah. Now there's a spring house that's nearby.
Exactly right.
Yeah, let's mosey on down there. So this spring house is original to the site, and
Yes.
obviously people would have to walk with their jugs or buckets of water
Exactly right.
to come up here for cooking, cleaning, washing, all those purposes, unless they did some of the washing down here.
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
Or what do you all know?
So our understanding is that, water would be run from down here at the spring uphill, and then washing and cleaning would have been done in basins, probably collected from the creek water instead of the spring water. But the spring house would have acted as kind of a cool storage place for a lot of different goods that needed to be kept cooler. Especially things like butter, cheese. But this would have been a place frequented by those that were enslaved here on a daily basis.
Okay. And just to let you all know, this is a natural water way, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Part of Little Sugar Creek and Briar Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty.
So this is the spring house. It's kind of like a giant cave, a cave / refrigerator. So this would be the same temperature about year round, mid 50s to low 60s degrees Fahrenheit, and would keep all kinds of goods for you. Impressively big.
Yeah, huge.
Did have to get rebuilt in the 1930s, but only portions of it. Much of this is still the original parts from back in 1774.
All right. This is
It's real dark.
Yeah, it's real dark for sure.
Do you need a light?
No,
see, okay.
yeah, good. Yeah, people sit in its raw form. So as you see down there, it looks like they would have some eggs.
Yeah.
That would have been in the bucket. You know, this is, of course, those aren't real eggs, right? It's just an example.
Yeah.
But what all would they store in here? What are some of the things is there any documented items that they say were here in the spring house?
Documentation on it is scarce, but we know that this was a dairy farm along with a peach orchard. So we know milk and dairy goods would have been stored in here. Milk, cream, butter, cheese, all of that would be kept in a spring house like this. Keep it from molding, keep it from going bad. And you could extend its lifetime 2 or 3 times by keeping it in this room.
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Any other spring houses that we have in Charlotte at any historic sites?
That's a good question.
I can't think of
I
any.
don't know. But when I think through other places, they're all from later in time.
Yeah.
None of them I can think of have spring houses.
Okay.
On these beams, you can see even better than in the house the hewing marks.
For
all
sure.
done by carpentry craftsmen back in the day.
Yep, you sure can.
Since they're in here, they were a little less planed down, a little rougher. But that's a great resource for us to talk about the work that went into building places like this and to keep them standing for this long.
Exactly. This is a very impressive piece of property here, man.
Yeah, thank you.
And a staple to the history of, telling the history of Charlotte when done the right way.
Yeah.
And you all definitely do that.
Thank you. Thank you.
It seems like everywhere you go, that's kind of part of the thing, is to make sure that the stories are told the right way, which is great for American history to be told in a manner in which is digestible.
Right.
Even though it may be difficult to digest some of it, but at least people know that they're not getting a filtered truth.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Yeah. We've got to be able to give people the information, and then help them through the conversations a little bit, but in the end, the meaning making is theirs.
Yeah.
Right? And we get to be part of that, but we're not a one-stop shop, right? We know that people's educational journeys, while they may start here or grow here, they almost never end here.
For sure.
And in that way, we try to stay humble about the information that we're sharing and understand that, it doesn't belong to us, but we are entrusted with it at the same time.
That's right. And, if you want to burn some calories, you all, to come out and visit.
Yeah.
I mean, when you come out and visit, you can. It's nice little walkways, a couple benches that are out here. There's some tables on the other side where you can sit down, bring a lunch or what have you. I hear kids already, so our homeschool kids come here pretty often, as well as public school.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Charter.
Public, private, homeschool. This year we're going to have a homeschool day.
Okay.
Where we invite different co-ops to come to the museum, visit it with our education team, and then have different historic sites and groups come out, have tables, and show off what they're doing as well.
Yeah.
Kind of be a hub for the history community that way.
That's what's up, man. Well, listen, this was another episode of History Before Us. And again, my whole goal is to bring you all history that you just may not necessarily know about. And you never know when I'm in your community. But like I always say, please make sure to subscribe and share. Cal, I greatly appreciate you for bringing us on this journey today. Also consider becoming a member to the channel. In addition to a subscriber, it really helps with travel to these different sites, hotel, gas, food, that's important. You just never know how a small contribution can help a little platform like mine to continue to thrive. So listen, peace and blessings. Make sure that you look up information about the Charlotte Museum of History. The website has a lot of information as well as there's actual museum on the inside. We didn't tour today, but I want to save something to your imagination. So make sure that you come out and you visit it if you're in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg County area. Peace and blessings.